Sir, are you able to hear me? Am I audible, sir? Dear participants, a resource person will be joining us shortly since he's having a technical issue. Sir, am I audible now? So kindly unmute yourself now.
Hello, am I audible now?
Yes, sir, you're audible, sir.
Okay. Thank you so much for such introduction. Good evening, everyone. It's a pleasure to be here with all of you for this faculty development program. The session on a topic that touches each one of us every single day is we all are faculties, and I understand what stress and time management is required in teaching, especially in higher education. So today my topic is also that stress and time management for teachers in higher education. So teaching is often called as a noble profession, but along with the noble part comes a constant balancing act, like lectures to deliver, research to complete, students to mentor, administrative works, and of course our personal lives. So all these things has to be balanced. In higher education, these demands can pile up so quickly that we find ourselves working harder and harder, and yet feeling like we are always short on time. Sometimes what I have observed, sometimes I have seen that we very proudly we say that we are very busy. We take it as a compliment that we are very busy in life. But how far that busy life is productive? That is a question. How far we are able to complete our work? Many times I have seen people are getting frustrated because after so much time they have given to their profession, again they are not able to complete what they have targeted. They, in personal life they are giving so much effort, in professional life they are giving so much effort, but still they are not able to complete what they have targeted. So what is the problem? So today my goal is to help us to recognize the sources of stress in our profession and explore why time always seems to slip away, and discuss the practical strategy to manage both so that we can teach better, live healthier, and enjoy our career more. So the main objective of the session is identify the major sources of the stress in higher education, apply time management strategies to academic life, balance teaching and research administrative works, personal commitments, develop resilience, and maintain well-being. So can you change the slide, please? Thank you. So let's begin with by recognizing that a faculty member is never just a teacher. We wear many hats. Like as a teacher, we need to prepare the lesson plan, deliver the lectures. For deliver 1 hour's lecture, at least we need to prepare for 2 hours, 3 hours minimum. And we need to prepare ourselves for the every lecture which we give. Then evaluating the assessment, taking internal exams. And as a researcher, it is also a job of academician to research, writing and publishing papers, research papers, applying for grants for any kind of project or consultancy, presenting research paper at international conferences. So these are all part of our job. As a researcher, we have to focus on these things also, and it is a Herculean task. So as a researcher, it is not easy. Along with that, mentoring students, that is also a big task because we have to advise them, what career option they need to choose, career counseling we have to do, project supervision if they are allotted with any kind of project, problem what students are facing every day, that also we have to take care, and all the daily life problem of the students, the generation wise, what kind of mindset the student have, we need to understand their generation, their problems. It may seem normal to us because of our experience and because of our learnings. So we have to learn the new mechanism, new mindset, new perceptions, and accordingly we have to provide them solutions. That is also a job of our teacher. Administrative duties like preparing report, committee, being a committee member to contribute to the your university or academics or institution, accreditation works, documentation work, academic event like organizing seminars, organizing workshops, organizing FDPs with the help of students or colleagues. So it is also a part of our job. Examination related like setting question papers, invigilation duty, evaluation. Along with that, personal life, family, hobbies, and health. That also we have to take care. And like extra duties also we have to do, like social outreach events we have to participate. Like now I am giving lecture in one FDP, so that is a social outreach event. So we have to. So this is also part of our job. Consultancy work if we are doing, or any kind of training program we can be part of. So those things are also jobs. So teacher, usually the society thinks that your job is only teaching. You have to teach for 1 or 2 hours. That is that much you have to do. Apart from that, your job is very easy, but it's not. Apart from teaching, we have to do so much other things. And yes, stress is real for these things. Can you please change the slide? So we need to understand what is the cause of the stress, how stress happens. So we need to understand the stress. So stress is not always bad. Two type of stress are there. Like your stress, it is a positive stress we have, which motivates us how to complete a work. Okay. Now, when stress is our body's natural response when demands exceed our perceived resources. Okay. So not all stress are bad. Like your stress can motivate us, like preparing for keynote lecture, preparing for doing a research. So we need motivation. So that stress is a positive. But when we are talking about distress, which is chronic negative stress, which leads to exhaustion, irritateness, burnout, and also it affects our personal life. So, and no one is actually understanding what actually a person is going through. He's giving effort, but he's not getting proper result because of this stress, because of time management problem. So the common cause of stress for higher education is heavy workload and unrealistic deadlines, pressure to meet appraisal norms. Every year we have to focus on our API scores, that we should get a good API score. For that, we have to do so many things. For NAC and NIRF compliance, we have to do, and so that accordingly our API score will be proper. For better promotion, for increment, all these things are necessary. We cannot avoid that. And balancing teaching, research, administration, last minute responsibilities for exam and events. So all these are part of our job, and we usually get stressed because of this. Additionally, if anything is not planned, some new problem come, like some student have done something which cannot be avoided, and you have to deal with it. If you are mentoring any particular student, if he has done something which is notorious, then you have to deal with it. So those are not part of the plan. Suddenly some kind of situation come up and you have to deal with it. So, and it is actually stressful. Like also demanding or disengaging students, or no clear separation between work and home life. And if any work left unchecked, the stress affects our mental health also, and the relationship, even the teaching quality. If we are stressed, then our teaching quality is also going to be compromised. So these are the actually problem we face. But at the same time, we also understand that yes, we are stressed, we are busy, but we are happy with our busy life. We try to channelize our brain that this is the way we should live, but it's not. When we are talking about stress can cause, not immediately, but in later period can cause many kind of health issues. At the same time, no one is going to understand why a person is behaving in such a way, why a person is always irritated, what kind of job he is doing. He just have to teach. Apart from teaching, he has no other job. So why he is always irritated? Why he is stressful? No one is going to understand that. So, but for that reason, we need to understand why these things are happening. Because of the time trap in academia. Next slide, please. So, that what is a time trap in academia? Why do we feel we are always running behind? That is the one of the problem we face. We underestimate how long a task actually takes. Usually, we underestimate that, like preparing for lecture or grading papers. We usually think, okay, within 1 hour or 2 hours, the entire thing will be completed. But which usually every time it is not possible to complete that. So that is one of the reason why this why we are not able to manage the time. So and also sometime we do the overcommitment, saying yes to too many events, too many committees, and too many extra duties. We should as a academician also at the some point we need to learn how to say no to certain work if it is beyond our capacity. If I'm already overloaded with so many works, if other alternative option is there to complete the new work or extra work, we should opt for that alternative option rather than following the same path, rather than taking more workload. So ultimately we are not able to complete the entire thing. Ultimately the higher authorities or deans or directors, whoever, they are ultimately they are going to be unhappy with your work. No matter what effort you have given, final result is not proper, not up to the mark. No matter what effort you have given, it is not going to work. So that's why overcommitment to a particular work sometimes leads to stress. Sometimes it leads to sometimes your efficiency is also compromised for that. So we get interrupted by unplanned administrative requests, like I said, any kind of student activity or any kind of new notaries activity has happened. So unplanned interruption to your administrative works is also one of the major reasons why our work is not getting done. Or we work without boundaries. Sometimes we don't know how to uh, create a boundary for your work. Checking emails at late night, carrying some kind of work to home unintentionally, subconsciously. We need to understand that subconsciously we are leading our life unintentionally. We are not actually planning our life. We think that okay, we plan certain things, but it happens in an unplanned way. And nowadays, because of social media, we don't know how this time is actually running. Because if we are scrolling some kind of Instagram reels, at the same time, we need to understand Instagram works with the algorithm. So if we, for entertainment, if we're scrolling reels, we thought that, okay, for 10 minutes, I'll watch reel, it'll give me some kind of relaxment. So that 10 minutes will lead to 20 minutes, 20 minutes will lead to 1 hour, and we have no idea how the time is going. So that is one of the priority, and ultimately that leads to procrastination. And at the last, when we get the realization that okay, our work is not getting completed, so at the panic situation we try to complete the work, and ultimately that work is not up to the mark. So this causes frustration also. So to create a stress cycle, delay, rush, exhaustion, more delay, so all these kind of thing actually happens on daily life. So how to balance it? So next slide please. Now the core principles of time management. What is the core principle of time management? Here are some fundamental that makes a real difference. First is prioritization. Prioritization means not all tasks are equal. Focus on high impact ones first. Which task needs to be completed first? Which task need more attention for the time being? That work has to be completed first. Then comes planning. Weekly and monthly planning helps anticipate deadlines. So, how to plan your work based on the priority? Which part of the work need more focus? Which work need to be completed first? Accordingly, I have to manage the time. So and time and accordingly I have to plan. So weekly plans, monthly plan will help to anticipate the deadlines. And organization, then keep material ready and avoid searching time. Suppose I have a lecture next week. So now and that lecture I have to prepare, and with the topic I am not that much familiar, or even if I am familiar, I am not that much aware that how to prepare a lecture. So for that I need to prepare now. I cannot wait for the last minute. I am preparing, and before class for 10 minutes I'll just take the notes what I have prepared in last week, and I'll go to the class. So that organization is very much necessary to avoid the search time, because at last moment if I am taking it, if there is just one lecture is one example, like one research paper, suppose I have to submit by, so I cannot wait for the last minute. I have to prepare now. Suppose end of this month, suppose 30th August is the last date to submit one research paper. So now I have to submit. If I want to submit now, so I should have dedicated 2 months time for that particular research paper. Depends on what kind of research paper I'm writing. So minimum 2 months time I should give to that research paper. If so, before prior to 30 August, I have to prepare the research paper. So I cannot wait for the last minute. Then comes discipline. So avoid this multitasking chaos. Finish one task before starting another. Because I have seen, and we take it very proudly. I have seen my colleagues, they take it very proudly that we are multitaskers. Fine, but every task is not, uh, every task cannot be done in a multitasking way. Some tasks need more attention, especially in academics. In academics, the job like teaching, research, organizing events, and or mentoring, you cannot do the multitask. You cannot write multiple research paper together. Yes, it is not impossible, but obviously your skill will be compromised. You will be more stressed. You will be more tired, and sometime you will mix everything. You will mess up an entire research thing. So for that reason, it is necessary that one after another you need to complete the task. Then comes you need to set boundaries. Then comes your discipline. Discipline after that your boundaries. How to set boundaries? How to protect your personal life? A powerful tool here is to protect your personal life is to make a note that what is your priority, the entire point which I have described. Priority, planning, organization, discipline. Ultimately, your personal life will be balanced. Ultimately, you can balance your work life and personal life. You cannot bring your work to your home. If it is a personal life, in personal life, you should not discuss your work. We usually what we do, we discuss our negativity with what happened in the personal life. We discuss what we have actually achieved in the personal life. Fine. If people are happy with it, you have to discuss, but it should not be the entire discussion after your office hour. It should not be the entire discussion. So that's how you need to balance your personal life. I know theoretically this sounds easy, but practically implementation, yes, it is difficult initially, because the way we are living now, our way, our lifestyle is very different. So to adopt these habits, yes, it is difficult, but it is possible. If we try, if we really want to change this thing, if we really want to achieve something on a personal life and professional life without any stress, without any frustration, then we need to adopt these skills. Intentionally we have to plan. Now we are living unintentionally. We are not planning our life. All these Instagram algorithms are deciding what time we have to dedicate. So that should not happen. And sometime I have seen people say that if you have a strong willpower, then you can manage your time. If you have a strong willpower, then you can achieve anything, which is not true. Only willpower is not enough, because if willpower and habits clashes, always habits win. So to how to control your habits by taking conscious decisions daily. You have to take conscious decision that okay, I need to manage my time. I need to plan. I need to organize. I need to I need to be disciplined, and I have to prepare my priority list. Which work I have to finish first. Accordingly, we can deal with our habits. So if we are, I'm not saying that you should get rid of your habits, but habits should be regulated by us only. If habits are regulating us, then there is a problem. If we are regulating the habits, then we can achieve without any frustration or stress. Next point comes the important but now urgent and important list we have to prepare. Urgent and important list. This is a Eisenhower matrix. This matrix is developed by Eisenhower, so which deals with four elements, which says that urgent plus important. Urgent plus important means we need to take immediate action on something. So we have to prepare this four list. Immediate action, like we have to submit a research paper within a stipulated time, we have to deliver a lecture, or we have to some kind of unplanned work is coming up and we have to dedicate our time on this. So urgent and important immediate action is necessary, so those work should be listed first. Also, we should give a space for unplanned work which can come at any point of time. So for separate space for that should be there. It's important plus not urgent. A proper planning is necessary. Some works are very important but not urgent. Immediate action is not necessary. So for that reason, we have time to plan. But planning is very much necessary for that. So for that reason, we have a deadline after 2-3 months. So accordingly, we have to plan that how we have to distribute our time per day for that particular work and how we can complete within that period of time. So that is important plus not urgent. Then comes urgent plus not important. Presently, it is not important, but it is urgent to complete. So those work can be delegated. You can delegate. You can distribute that particular work with your colleagues or subordinates, or it can wait for some time. So depending on the scenario, it has to be decided. What we do usually, we don't prepare this list. If we are willing to, suppose there is administrative work which can wait for 7 days. If we think now, okay, I have 10 minutes time, I have 1 hour time, let's complete it. We don't plan it. So we usually do that. If we're doing it, some urgent work will be pending, which is necessary to be completed first. So that's why this is necessary. Then comes the last point, neither urgent, neither important. Some kind of unproductive things. So that, if possible, we need to eliminate, but it is not always possible. Theoretically, I am saying it, you need to eliminate, but sometimes you have to be part of some unproductive meetings. We have to part of some kind of unproductive discussion. Being a member of a university, being a member of an institution, you know that some meetings, some work, some conversation, which is unproductive and which is not necessary, but still you have to be part of. But if we need to avoid that, how less time we can dedicate to that kind of work. If it is possible, we need to eliminate that. If possible, I'm not saying it is always possible, but if possible, we need to eliminate. It should not be our choice. If it is a part of any particular plan, if it is part of first three, if that particular work is part of any first three, then we should dedicate the time to that particular thing. Else, if it is possible, we need to avoid. And I usually, I want to encourage all of you, including me also, I want to encourage myself also, to try the mapping of our task according to this matrix. Because this matrix is helpful. Especially if I share my personal experience here, during my PhD, it helped me a lot. When I am pursuing my PhD, before completing the thesis, at that point of time, in my family, my personal life also, some kind of problem was there. Also at the same time, I have to complete my thesis. Also at the same time, I have to complete the documentation work, and along with that, I'm taking the classes. So, and also I'm writing research papers. And I have got idea about this particular matrix, and it actually helped me a lot during that period. Now, can please next slide. The balancing teaching and research. This is the most important point, and usually we get frustrated with these things. That how to dedicate our time in teaching and research. So When we're talking about teaching and research, the fixed research hour weekly, that is very much necessary. Block a particular fixed research hour into your weeks and treat them like class time. If we are having a fixed class time as per the timetable, we have to go to the class and there is no other option. You cannot avoid that. But in research, since you have a discretion how to go for research, you have a discretion that okay, I can start research at this time. Okay, I can do research at morning time, or I can do research at evening time. You usually don't focus on fixing a particular time. But if you're fixing a particular time, if you are thinking that okay, research for research also I should fix a particular time in a day and weekly hour I have to fix. For this week I have to dedicate 10 hours or 20 hours or 9 hours or 5 hours depending on what research you are doing, and it should be like a class. Then only research can be possible. And use classroom case studies and data for research publication. That is very helpful. Trust me, I have done this. Whatever the class notes I am preparing, whatever preparation I am doing for my class or lecture notes, whatever I am preparing, related to that, if I am writing a research paper, same effort will be used in the class as well as in my research. Plus, you will also develop expertise in that particular subject. If you are allotted with that subject, then if you can share your research with the students in a teaching mode, so that data can be that particular effort can be used in both ways, in teaching and also in research. So and keep a running list of research ideas for future use. Many times I have seen that we academicians, what we do, we get a notification of a conference through mail or any uh, website, or in LinkedIn we get a notification that this conference is going to be held on this month and last date is this. Suppose there is a conference which is going to be held on December and last date is this, and different themes are there. So accordingly we prepare our research paper. So what I suggest, that we should focus on research paper which we like. It should be related to our research PhD. It should be related to our subject. It should be related to our domain areas. And we need to continuously write the research papers, continuously. It should not be deadline driven. It should be like, okay, I like this topic, I need to write. If I get a particular conference or call for paper on that particular topic, then I have to send it to that particular journal or book or to the conference. If we are searching for the conference, then choosing a topic and then writing it, then ultimately it is going to be a problem. So and it should be a continuous process. What we do, we are sitting, many colleagues I have seen, they have done this, sitting for 6 months silently, and suddenly they think that okay, I need to write a research paper. This year I have not written anything. So find a conference, send a paper, whatever the theme they have, according to that, we need to prepare a research paper and we need to send. That's not how it exactly going to work. You can send one or two paper, after that you will feel stressful because you are not able to manage other things. Apart from research, you have to manage administrative work, other things. Ultimately, you will be frustrated. So for that reason, weekly plan is necessary. You need to write a research paper, whatever the lecture you are providing, whatever subject you are teaching. Based on that, whatever notes you are searching for teaching on, based on that, you need to write a research paper. When you find a good journal based on that particular topic or conference, you need to send that particular research paper to that particular journal or book. Now, appraisal norms and target. That is a very important point because we need to comply with API, we need to comply with NIRF ranking, NAC accreditation, API score. There are certain points we have to qualify per year to get a good API score. So break annual goals into quarterly checkpoints. Every quarter, you need to find, okay, this year, there are certain points I have to do. For research publication, how many research publication I need to write to get a particular point. So I suppose I need 20 points. So how many research articles I have to write? Uh, how many Scopus Index article I have to write? How many Google Scholar Index article I have to write? Or those things I have to identify. But again, I'm sticking to that point. Write articles, whatever the domain area you have, and accordingly you need to find a journal. First, finding journal and writing article is not going to help you. For that reason, so breaking annual goals into quarterly checkpoints is very much necessary. Maintain an achievement tracker for API points. In every year, how many points I have completed, how many FDP I have attended for this particular year. Is it enough, or I need to attend more FDPs? I have to learn new skills. I have to understand what is exactly happening, and also I need to be prepared for what just attending FDP or just attending any conference is not enough. What I have learned from it, because if anyone is going to ask me, I should explain that what I have learned. Because in many interviews, this question comes that if you have attended this much of FDP, what you have learned, what was the name of the FTP, and what you have actually learned from that FTP. That kind of question can come. So you have to be involved. Just only because of point, you cannot be part of any particular thing. So maintain an achievement tracker for API points is very much necessary. This number of conference paper presentation, this number of research publication, this number of FTP, this number of organizing events, mentor mentee details. So all these things has to be, you have to fix that. And also at the same time, whatever the documentation you need in one API, when API score is going to be evaluated, whatever the documentation you need, at the very moment when you are getting that document, you have to keep it in a separate folder, or you have to create a separate file. When API verification is happening, if there is a verification process, when API verification is happening, you cannot wait for that time, and you have to check the entire year's documentation at the presentation, or when you get a certificate of FDP or anything or any publication, you have to take a separate folder so you can showcase that to API board or whoever comes for API verification. So that very moment, the simultaneously you can in the entire year you can prepare a document. You don't have to wait for the last minute for preparing a API verification document. So that also is going to be very helpful. Then comes after getting the appraisal target. Once you get appraisal target, once you have fixed the quarterly time that how you are going to manage your appraisal norms, then submit paper ahead of its deadline. When like I said, avoid this last minute rush. When to avoid that last minute rush, before deadline you have to prepare. Once you are done with preparing your weekly research goal, APA score quarterly you have prepared. Now prepare how to submit, avoid the deadline before research. Paper presentation and networking. Focus on quality and quality over quantity in the conference. Attend only 4 or 5 conference. I think that will be enough to achieve the APA score for the conference purpose. But that 4 or 5 conference should be quality conference. Any random conference you cannot attend. It should have a quality. As per the university norms, whatever the requirement they have, as per that, conference can be chosen. And in the year, you have to attend the conference, but it should be, you should have a quality. Paper presentation also in the conference, you have to prepare the paper, but it should have a proper quality. Now, reuse the core research content in multiple formats. Like I said, you can use your lecture notes in the research also. So like that, reuse those core research content for different concepts if it is possible. It is not always possible. If it is possible, so reuse of core research content in multiple formats is actually helpful. And keep a ready bio and abstract file to save time. Always, many conferences, many call for paper, they ask for biodata. So prepare a brief biodata, prepare a resume, and prepare a detailed curriculum vitae. So whatever is necessary, it can be used immediately. Every time you don't have to prepare. A brief biodata of 1 page, a brief biodata of 2 pages, a detailed biodata of the entire 10 to 15 pages. So everything should be ready. And it can be ready that you can use any of the document at any time. So that is very much necessary for this particular thing. Next slide, please. The managing student mentoring. So student mentoring and student management in these days, especially after COVID, is becoming very difficult. So fixed mentoring hour is very much necessary. Mentoring students is rewarding but can be time intensive. So if even if we are fixing a particular time for it, it is not always possible to deal with that particular time. So fixing a specific hour for student, if it is possible, is good. If any kind of unplanned thing come, like I said in the your urgent and important work list, you should have given a space for unplanned work. So like that, for that this particular thing, managing student mentoring, so that is going to be helpful. If you have a column for unplanned work, at any point of time, you need to mentor, you need to counsel a particular student, or you have to deal with some notorious student. At least you should have time for that. So fixed mentoring hour should be there. Written guidance for the record. Keep everything in written format. Whatever guidance is given to your mentees, what exactly how you're guiding them, how far you are doing the meeting with them. All these things has to be recorded, either in the hard copy or in Excel sheet or in the soft copy. All these recording should be done. And for critical and disruptive situations, listen actively. We, as an academician, we need to be a good listener. If many times a situation comes, we know that so many things which is going that have no logic, so many wrong things are happening, but we have no other option except listening. Be it parents, be it students, we have to listen actively. If we're listening, many problems are going to be solved. And documentation of those facts, what exactly happened and what you have listened and what kind of advice you have taken. And we need to deal with these things very calm, because young energies are there, immature. They sometimes they do certain things which is, have no logic. But as a teacher, it is our job to deal with it very calmly. Sometimes, if we are reactive, it is going to be more time consuming. We have to give more time to that kind of work. So, to avoid time consumption, we need to be very calm for this. And we need to balance empathy and firmness. Student respect clarity and consistency. Whatever the student, be it notorious, be it sincere, they usually always respect clarity and consistency. So if they find that the particular teacher is very clear about his words, no matter in classroom, no matter outside classroom, is very clear whatever he is explaining, is consistent with his behavior, is equal to every student, is behaving in the same manner with every student. So everyone is going to like, be it notorious, be it a sincere student, everyone is going to like that kind of uh, teacher. So it will be less time consuming to deal with this kind of mentees. So at the same, along with the research, along with teaching, we can deal with our mentees this way. Next slide, please. Now coming to administrative and event responsibilities. So faculty often handle events and admin work alongside teaching. So that is our part of the job. So maintaining of a master checklist for recurring events. How many events I need to organize in a how many events I need to organize in a particular year? That also has to be. How many events or how many administrative work which I am assigned? That has to be checked. And accordingly, we have to balance. So delegate the logistic work to the student members or staff members. So everywhere you don't have to run for any logistic. Many faculty I have seen, they have this habit of working everything alone. I'm a lone ranger, I have to work alone, but it is ultimately it is going to trouble. Ultimately, it is going to be frustrating, stressful. If we are delegating certain work, if it is possible that there are volunteers, there are students, there are staffs, if we can delegate those logistic works, then ultimately entire event will be successful without any stress, with less time. And keeping meeting and agendas short with fixed start and fixed end time. Many times we join a meeting or we organize a meeting, whatever the agenda we don't fix, whatever discussion is happening, it is taking time, and ultimately the entire goal of the meeting is getting compromised. So fixing the agenda of the meeting within the fixed time is very much necessary, and sticking to those agenda in the meeting, no matter whoever is trying to divert the topic, we need to stick to those time. Why the meeting is called? What is the purpose of the meeting? We need to fix that. So then only we can easily manage our time if we are managing any particular event or if we are dealing with any administrative job. And use share digital folders to store templates, budget, reports if we are organizing any event. A shared digital folder, so it will be transparent to everyone. Everyone can access those person who are the part of that particular organizing event. So all these things should be in one place. So you don't have to explain everyone that what is happening. So everyone can check easily that what is the status of what is the update about the particular event. So these things is very important. These are small things, and these are very important for in time management. Now, exam management strategy. So when it comes to exams, so preparing question banks, using templates, block grading time, avoid carry forward pile up. These are very important points. We need to be very focused, because if we have to prepare a question, we have to prepare early. From the beginning of the semester. We need to prepare a question, because ultimately we have a syllabus. We know what we are going to teach. So ultimately, during the entire semester, gradually we need to prepare the question from the very beginning. We don't need to wait for the last minute when exam section mail us, then only we have to submit. No, we need to prepare the question from the beginning of the semester. Gradually, every day we should give time, and accordingly we need to prepare the question. Whatever the format you have, according whatever the format is given, in that format you can copy paste it in later period, but initially you need to prepare the question. Next slide, please. Now comes the work-life balance. Work-life balance isn't a luxury actually. It is necessity for sustained performance. So why it is necessary? Because if we are not balancing our work, again, as I said, your personal life and professional life, both will be compromised. You are going to give effort. You are going to understand that I am giving so much effort. Still on, I am not able to handle anything. Why? Because you are not able to balance your work life. How to balance it? Set work cover and stick to that. Whatever the work cover, considering everything, teaching, research, organizing events, mentee meetings, mentoring of the students, publication, everything. Consider everything, you have to fix a work cover. Within that work cover, I have to do certain things based on my priority list, based on my important list. What is urgent, what is important, what is unimportant but urgent, what is not urgent but important, but planned, but we need proper planning for that. So according to that, fixing everything, we need to fix a proper working hour and schedule personal family time as non-negotiable. If you are not scheduling a non-negotiable family time, then it is going to ruin your family life also. There should be an impression within your professional place that family time is not for disturbance, and no one should disturb us during family time if it is not very emergency situation. If it is an emergency situation, yes, obviously it is going to be compromised. But if it's not a very emergency situation, it is non-negotiable. I should have a non-negotiable family time. I can do anything with during my family time with my family. It should not be compromised. The exercise and take short breaks during the day. Sometimes we get involved with the gossips, and that gossip within the office, within the academic premises, we involved with the gossip, and that will we don't know that how many time it will take. 1 hour unintentionally we get involved in the gossip for 1 hour or 30 minutes, which was not a plan. But instead of doing that, we need to take small breaks, short break, like taking tea or coffee during the day, doing some exercise. Exercise can be a walk, exercise can be taking stairs instead of lift. So these can be taken. And avoid work conversation during personal time. If you are in the non-negotiable personal time, work related conversation should be avoided. and stress relief habit that we need to develop. It is very subjective, so every person have their own way of stress relief habit. Some people use that sponging ball, some people go to gym, some people have follow their passion, read books, watching movies, or taking or playing badminton or playing cricket at evening. Any kind of stress relief habit we should develop, but it should not be watching reels. It should just a minute. It should not be watching reels. At the same time, we need to develop a certain habit. We need to understand what kind of habits we have, what kind of personal habits we usually have. According to that, it should be regulated. That personal habit should be regulated and with proper plan. But we should have to dedicate certain times to our stress relief. And those stress relaxing activity can be helpful and can motivate us to work more. Now, like uh, deep breathing, mindful meditation, or short walk between the classes, the peer support groups, involving the peer support groups, that will be helpful. Celebrating small wins. So celebrating small win is very, very important. Be it with family, be it with colleague. If you have a friendly colleague, then you are a very lucky person, and you should celebrate with that. Suppose your paper get published, you need to celebrate. Suppose you have achieved or you got a certificate in a conference, or you have successfully organized a particular event. These are the small achievement, and which you are achieving every year, but you need to celebrate in a small way by going to a restaurant or by giving chocolate to everyone. Anyway, you have to celebrate small wins every day. So these are the stress relief strategy. Deep breathing and short work, which is very much necessary, as I have explained already this part, and use of digital tools. In today's era, if we are living in the 2025 era, we are lucky enough that we have so many digital tools for our academics. The Google Calendar maintaining, so that you can understand your schedules properly, like Zotero for footnoting part, Mendeley for footnoting part. In the research skills, for research, you need to prepare a footnote. Because footnote sometimes is preparing footnote is very many times it is stressful. You have written entire research, but how to cite it takes many time. So preparing a citation in a proper format. So Zotero and Mendeley, Google Forms, Trello and Asana, these things are very helpful in any particular academics. And also, yes, obviously we should not use AI in the research because it is unethical to follow the entire AI, but we can take help of AI. Whatever AI is generating, that exactly we cannot use in the research paper, but for preparing outlines, preparing the concept, or even for administrative work, writing a mail. Why to write a manual mail? Why to take so much of time writing manual if we are having a proper technology? If we learn a new technology, it is going to be helpful. You can write a mail within 2 minutes or 3 minutes, which you are taking 10 minutes previously, and in better way. All you need to know is how to give a proper prompt. So that if that is helpful, in very less time you can do so many administrative work. So this use of digital technology is very much necessary in these days, and learning of these technologies is very much necessary. So next slide, please. Now, daily and weekly checklist, that is very important. So now prioritize 3 tasks and limit unplanned meeting and review next day. Daily basis, at least, it depends. It is not necessary that every time you have to keep 3 tasks. It depends on how much workload any person is having. So, but prioritizing of 3 tasks daily, apart from teaching, apart from research, or maybe within the research. So that plan is very much necessary. And unplanned meeting should, if it is possible, we need to avoid that. Unplanned meeting with any person, any colleague or gossiping, that need to be avoided. And weekly update on research plan on lectures, events, review work on life balance. It has to be done. If you are starting this entire plan, weekly you need a proper report on this, that how far you are actually doing good in time management. Next slide. Can you change to next slide? Am I audible? Hello? Am I audible to everyone? Okay, thank you. So yes, so now to wrap up this entire session, stress is inevitable. We cannot expect from our life that one day I am going to be relieved, one day all this stress is going to end. That is never going to happen. You may think that after retirement or after doing job for 10-15 years I may get relaxed, but this is not going to end. You will, one stress, one tension is going to over, another will come. The stress is always inevitable, but how we respond to it, it is our choice. If we are planning everything intentionally, if we are living our life, and then only it is possible to avoid stress. So managing time effectively is the most powerful way to reduce negative stress from our life and protect our well-being. That is very much necessary. You can't pour from the empty cup. So for that reason, our well-being is very much necessary, and you cannot control time, but you can control how you use it. Thank you, everyone. And now I would love to hear your thoughts and experience or strategies